ناي جنوبي بيتمنى يملك أرض في جوبا، لكن أنت كان شفت definition بتاع جوبا صغير ما بيشيل الجنوبيين كله. بعدين دول العالم ده كله لما ماشي واشنطن، باريس، لندن، ما كل أمريكيين عندهم أوطان في واشنطن، ما كل بريطانيين عندهم أوطان في لندن. أنا بتمنى رسالة دي عليكم بحالة بعدنا بتاع الجنوبيين. تعال في جوبا كان ظروف شغل إجابة قدم برا أنت بتلقى أراضي. أنا متذكر كوميشنر تشارلز كان وزع أراضي بطريقة سلسة، في ناس لقوا أراضي بدون مشاكل. لكن النهب ده الحكومة ده الناس الأرض بكون قاعد، لكن نحن بشر بننتهي بعد كم سنين أراضي الشالو بقوا دي بيرجعوا. بعدين الوضع الجنوبيين كان قابل شنو محمود أراضي يبقى كان بسبب بتاع أرض بتمشي قابل. ما قابل ده أصلا مفتولة أيضا. سو خلينا كجنوبيين عشان نكون مسالمين أن إحنا نؤمن إنه ظروف شغل كان جابني في جوبا، كان لزول الجابني في جوبا ده يشوف لنا محل بتاع سكن. ما نمشي نقتل ناس ونقعد في محل ده. نازل ما عندهم يالهم قاعدين.
Sounds of the Week on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. A family member has confirmed to iRadio that security personnel arrested Michael Christopher, the editor-in-chief of the Arabic news Al Watan, on Wednesday for unclear reasons. The Minister of Information, Communication, Technology and Postal Services, Atany Wagatany, has pledged to reduce the burden on mobile and internet service providers to make internet access more affordable for users. And Governor Louise Lobong Lojore has called on the people of Eastern Equatorial State to reject violence and mobilize peacefully during a consultative meeting with political, community and opinion leaders from Torit and Magui counties. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin. I am Wol Mapal. Now the news in detail. A family member has confirmed to iRadio that security personnel arrested Michael Christopher, the editor-in-chief of the Arabic newspaper Al Watan, on Wednesday for unclear reasons. Daniel Duor Christopher said his brother was arrested from a public area after 6 p.m. at the Bluk or Haithora neighborhood. He added that the security personnel approached him calmly, informed him they were there to arrest him, and he complied even though no reason for the arrest was provided. Daniel believes the journalist is being held at a detention facility along the riverside in Juba. He said family members have been denied access to Christopher until the investigation is completed. Daniel narrated the events to iRadio this morning.
أول امبارح بالليل هنا في اتجاه بلوك اريا هنا وغايته هو متأثر احنا الاعتقال في طرف البحر المغرب بتاع جهة سلامنا ده، لكن لسه ما انتبهنا اي تفاصيل كانت جديدة، لكن وجود هناك حسب المعلومات اللي جاتنا وغاية احنا مستنين بعد التحقيق عشان نقدر نعرف جهة أمنية رسمية يا هو متخصص لأن الأفراد بتاع القوات النظامية هو اعتقلوه قالوا هو احنا الاعتقال، لكن طبعا ما وروا تفاصيل، وهو طبعا عشان اجراء كده ومشى معاهم يعني ما غاوهم وما يعني قوة رسمية وقوات نظامية ومشى معاهم. المهم واسع محجوز هناك لكن لسه ما في تفاصيل، لكن بعد التحري هو ممكن بعد كده تفاصيل شنو، ولو في زيارات الأسرة ممكن تمشي تزور بعد ما يتم التحقيق.
South Sudan laws provide that all detainees, whether arrested by the police or the security service, are accorded basic rights. The contribution provides that the person should be taken before a court within 24 hours of arrest. The Ministry of Information, Communication, Technology and Postal Services, Atany Wagatany, has pledged to reduce the burden on mobile and internet service providers to make internet access more affordable for users. This came on Thursday after an extensive meeting with Zain CEO Philip Hanna over the exorbitant internet and communication rates in the country. In a statement on ICT and Postal Services Facebook page, Attain told Zain that internet is a human right and South Sudanese deserve affordable rates to enable them communicate and benefit from the goodies that come with internet service, especially education and business transactions. He argued the cheaper the internet and communication charges, the better, since the mobile and internet service providers has a market of over 5 million mobile and internet users in the country. Attenwek, once a popular social media vocalist, was recently appointed to the docket of ICT and Postal Service. During a Thanksgiving ceremony at his house in Gudele last weekend, Ateng promised to call the telecom companies operating in South Sudan to find out the reason behind high tariff charges. Before his appointment, he once criticized the Ministry of ICT and Postal Services for what he described as abandoning citizens to cruel charges by telecom companies. He blamed the government for prioritizing collecting taxes from companies and forgetting that consumers need to be protected from being harmed by such tariffs. Earlier this week, Minister Wek demanded a technical explanation from MTN South Sudan over what he described as unreasonably high and steadily rising tariffs. He stated that citizens are struggling under the weight of escalating communication costs. Elsewhere, Governor Louis Lobong Lojore has called on the people of Eastern Equatoria State to reject violence and mobilize peacefully during a consultative meeting with political, community and opinion leaders from Torit and Magui counties. That is according to his official Facebook page. The meeting comes after a week of heightened tension during which SPLM-IO attacked areas surrounding Torit, the state capital. Earlier this week, Governor Lobong confirmed that the SSPDF had regained control of E42 and pledged to track down the attackers. During the Wednesday meeting, the governor stressed the importance of peaceful mobilization, urging leaders to reject all forms of violence and resist any attempts to destabilize Eastern Equatoria. He said, and I quote, "Eastern Equatoria has long been recognized for its culture of peace and coexistence. Safeguarding this legacy is a shared responsibility." End quote. He encouraged leaders to use their influence to foster dialogue, reconciliation and community cohesion, reaffirming the government's commitment to protecting all citizens and ensuring stability. Governor Lobong also appealed to the public to remain calm, vigilant and united as the government continues to work with stakeholders to maintain peace and security across the state. This is iRadio Afternoon News. The Archbishop of the Episcopal Church of South Sudan, Justin Badi Harama, has been recognized with the prestigious Leadership Award by the Pan-African Institute for Leadership for his efforts in promoting peace, unity and spiritual guidance across South Sudan. The award was announced during a brief ceremony on Monday in Juba by Elizabeth Michael, Commissioner General of Central Equatoria State Headquarters. The recognition came as Archbishop Harama earlier this week hosted the annual House of Bishops Conference in Juba, a key gathering of ECSS leaders from 61 dioceses nationwide. Archbishop Harama is set to receive the award in Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean from 19 to 25th January 2026. Speaking at the ceremony, Michael praised Archbishop Harama's unwavering commitment to reconciliation and leadership amidst the country's ongoing political, social and economic challenges.
I am here to present a document that has been sent by the Pan-African Leadership Institute to His Grace, Dr. Justin Badi Harama, and this is a confirmation as a recipient of the Pan-African Leadership Institute Award for Spiritual and Peace Leadership. It is presented to the Primate, our Archbishop. This nomination was made because of the remarkable leadership, dedication to peace, the reconciliation efforts, and the promotion of education and spiritual development that our Primate has done.
The Pan-African Institute for Leadership is known for honoring African leaders whose work fosters development, peace building and regional progress. This is iRadio News. Finally, before regional international stories, a 13-year-old girl is urging the national government to urgently confront the growing challenges facing children, including child labor, forced marriage, hunger, insecurity, disease outbreaks, and economic hardship. Beyond's enemy made the appeal on Thursday during the launch of the 2026 to 2030 work plan for children in South Sudan by Wol Vision. Speaking to government officials, development partners, and child rights advocates, Beyonce described the new plan as a hopeful and strong program that will help children achieve their dreams. But she stressed that major barriers continue to block the future of South Sudanese children. Beyonce highlighted child labor as one of the biggest concerns, citing the high number of minors working on the streets. On forced marriage, she said girls are often denied education due to poverty and harmful traditional practices. Beyonce added that hunger continues to push many children out of school and linked food insecurity to the broader issue of national instability, saying hunger and conflict reinforce each other.
Let me move forward to go to the first thing that's really affecting us as the children of South Sudan. The first thing is child labor. Our dear government and the NGOs supporting children of South Sudan. Child labor is one of the most things that's really distracting our dreams. The second thing is forced marriage. Yes, we as the girls of South Sudan, we are having dreams to stand for our nation. But forced marriage is one of the things that's affecting us, we as the girls of South Sudan. The second thing is hunger. Yes, truly, me as Beyonce standing in front of you here today, my dream is to study law. But if I am hungry, do you think I can go to school? No, I can't go to school. If I am hungry, do you think I can sit in the class and pay attention to the teacher? No, I can't do that.
Beyonce also pointed to disease outbreaks as major setbacks that interrupt schooling and contribute to high dropped-out rates. Economic instability, she added, further limits families' ability to educate their children. She called on the government, development partners, and NGOs supporting children to take concrete steps to improve children's welfare, including fighting child labor and forced marriage, improving food security, strengthening national security, supporting students with school needs, and equipping hospitals with adequate medicines.
So therefore, to stand here, my appeal goes to the government and the NGOs to support us as the girls to stand against forced marriage and child labor, because this is the most thing that's affecting us as the children of South Sudan. My appeal also goes to the government to implement for us good security to support the students and the pupils of South Sudan to be going to the school. Not only that, I stand here to appeal to the government together with the NGOs as well as World Vision to support the mothers who are in the hospitals. Yes, we as the children of South Sudan, most of the children of South Sudan are dying because of lack of good hospitals. Yes, we are having hospitals, but there are no good medicines. So here I stand to appeal to you on behalf of the children of South Sudan to help the hospitals with the good medicines that will help our life to be going to school and that will help us to achieve our dreams.
She further reminded leaders that children are not just the future but citizens of today. The 2026-2030 work plan for children in South Sudan aims to strengthen child protection, education, health and livelihood systems to ensure a safer and more supportive environment for children. This is our Radio Afternoon News. Now to the regional international stories. We are joined by Lesuba Memo.
Making headlines on the African soil and elsewhere, Guinea-Bissau's deposed President Umaro Sissoco Embalo has arrived in Senegal. The country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has confirmed a day after a group of military officers in Guinea-Bissau seized power in a coup. Senegal's foreign ministry said in a statement on Thursday night that Embalo had arrived in Senegal after authorities engaged with actors in Guinea-Bissau to try to secure his release. Embalo was deposed on Wednesday after military officers announced they had seized total control of Guinea-Bissau ahead of the expected release of presidential election results in the West African nation. Embalo had been vying for re-election against his main challenger, Fernando Diaz. Both had declared victory ahead of the release of the provisional results. Elsewhere, the European Parliament passed a 539 zero resolution condemning post-October 29 election violence in Tanzania, including killings, disappearances, and opposition leader Tundu Lissu's detention on treason charges. He demands independent probes, release of political prisoners, and suspension of 156 million euros in EU aid to the government, redirecting funds to human rights groups in the state. While non-binding, the move highlights global worries over President Samia Suluhu Hassan's 98% win amid boycotts, protests, internet shutdowns, and unverified casualty claims, dozens to over 2,000 as families await answers on loved ones. Finally, Ukraine's anti-corruption agencies have begun searching the apartment of President Volodymyr Zelensky's chief of his staff, Andriy Yermak. One of the two agencies, Anti-Corruption Bureau NABU, confirmed that its investigation searches had been authorized and said further details would follow. Yermak has played a crucial role in Ukraine's response to Russia's full-scale war and is Kiev's lead negotiator in peace talks with the US. That's all making headlines on the African soil and elsewhere. Back to you, Wol Mapal.
Vote of thanks, Lasuba Memo, for the regional and international stories. Up next is sport, and we are joined live by Darlington Moses.
Thank you so much, Wol Mapal. In the world of sport, we are starting with some update from some key players in the Premier League. Wenkanoni Madueke, playing with Arsenal, says he is not really worried about the criticism he faced from Arsenal fans over his transfer this summer. A petition number not to Madueke to protest against his signing from Chelsea for 48.5 million euros in July was signed by more than 400 people. Madueke, 23, said the criticism is in the distant past after scoring his first goal for the Gunners in Wednesday's 3-1 Champions League victory over Bayern Munich. And also this week, a great week for you to play your free hit chips with three of the league's worst defenses, Leeds, Burnley and Wolves, on the road against informed attacks. Manchester City houses struggling Leeds, who have lost their past 3 games and conceded 15 on the road this season. So Erling Haaland, Manchester City striker, is straight back in as captain. It is not the case if he will score, but how many will he back? The team of this week are selected based on current FPL prices to fit within 100 million euros budget as if you were playing for a free hit. And finally, North African derby showdown between Al Ahly and Asfar Rabat, as well as Mamelodi Sundowns matches against Mark Alger headline this weekend's CAF Champions League action. Al Ahly will be on a mission to maintain their lead at the top of the Group B standings when they meet Al Asfar at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium in Rabat on Friday after thumbing JS Kabylie 4-1 at home. However, Rabat are a wounded lion banking on home ground advantage after losing 1-0 to Young Africans in Tanzania. This is all in the world of sport, and back to you, Wol Mapal.
And that was Darlington Moses giving us an update on sports, and here brings us to the end of our stories this afternoon. But first, let's have a quick recap of our headlines once again. A family member has confirmed to iRadio that security personnel arrested Michael Christopher, the editor-in-chief of the Arabic newspaper Al Watan, on Wednesday for unclear reasons. The Minister of Information, Communication, Technology and Postal Services, Atany Wegatany, has pledged to reduce the burden on mobile and internet service providers to make internet access more affordable for users. And finally, Governor Louis Lobong Lejore has called on the people of Eastern Equatorial State to reject violence and mobilize peacefully during a consultative meeting with political, community and opinion leaders from Torit and Magui counties. That is the end of iRadio News. If there is a story or an event you would like iRadio to cover or report about, please don't hesitate to send us a text message on +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for news in Arabic at half past the hour. On behalf of the news team, I am Wol Mapal. Thanks for listening. Till next time, goodbye.